Acá, Home of the Brown Sound, el número uno por la onda. Bueno, pues Freddy Martinez, y en esta ocasión tengo una persona, un artista, ¿qué digo un artista? Un gran amigo de muchos años. We've got Mr. A.B. Quintanilla on the phone. A.B., ¿cómo estás?
What's going on, my brother? How you doing, Freddy? Want to send a shout out to all your listeners and, well, darte las gracias por darme este espacio en tu show. What can I say, man? It's always good chopping it up with you, my brother.
Y para una amistad duradera de muchos años, y más que nada hemos estado pues siguiendo tu trayectoria. You've got a long career, my brother. ¿Cómo te sientes ahora con tu grupo que andas pegando por Bolivia, por todo Centroamérica?
Pues vamos muy bien, por todas partes. Este fin de semana vamos a estar pues así, afuera de Tucson, Arizona. Pero es el State Fair de todo el estado de Arizona. So it's gonna be a nice show that we're going to be heading down there. Y después tenemos otros shows por muchos lugares por los Estados Unidos, y después los lanzamos en junio. En June we head out to Bolivia. Tenemos 8 shows en Bolivia, y después de ahí arrancamos para, yo pienso, Argentina, Paraguay y Perú. So we're actually opening 4 new countries, man. So,
So is it, you've been to Argentina before, or is this the first time? I know you've been to Bolivia.
No, this is my second time to Argentina. I actually recorded 2 videos. I recorded Rique Petadita and Por Ti Baby. I recorded 2 videos in Argentina. And I stayed in Buenos Aires. It's funny because in Buenos Aires, well, in Argentina, the sun doesn't go down till 10 o'clock at night.
Awesome.
So it's a little crazy down there. People are actually out at the park with their kids at 4 in the morning. It's kind of crazy down there, but it's a really unique place. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to going back now to perform over there. So I'm really excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to going to Peru and to Paraguay and Argentina. They're very important places, and of course Bolivia. This will be like our 6th or 7th, 8th time. You know, we go there muy seguidamente.
How would you compare being playing in the United States and playing in Central America?
So how would I complain? Well, talking about Central or South America?
Yeah, South America. Is it the same crowd, basically?
The same thing. Well, you know, the thing is I've had the opportunity. I mean, we've gone all the way from Nicaragua to Guatemala and San Salvador, Honduras, which is all in Central America, you know, and going into the Latin countries, going to Bolivia. The difference, it just depends on the crowd. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It depends on the people, but I find that the people there, I guess, being that they don't get to see us that often, they're really, really excited to see you. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that people aren't excited to see you in the United States, but there's a little bit of a difference because you're a foreigner. You know what I'm saying? And it feels good being out of Texas and, you know, being out of Corpitos and being and going out in the street and actually seeing llamas, people walking llamas and stuff. It's crazy. I mean, I've been really, really blessed with beautiful experiences and really blessed that the people, not only from the United States but Latin America in general, have received the music with open arms. So I'm really fortunate, man.
Did you ever imagine you would have the success that you've had, E.B., when you first started out?
No, to be honest with you, no. You know, but if you have to measure success, I would have to say that the greatest success that I've ever accomplished would have to be with Selena, which you saw us grow. When you were there when Selena was young, but we were just young guys, just trying to make sense out of the market. You know what I'm saying? And to me, yeah, that was the greatest success. Anything after that, it's kind of like eating tacos without, you know what I'm saying, without a little bit of hot sauce on it. You know, it's still a taco, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So I have to say that the greatest success. I believed in Selena, being her brother. You know what I'm saying? I believed in her, and to me, that's the biggest success right there is believing in her, and that to me was everything. Everything else, of course, Cumbia Kings and Cumbia All Stars, that's been very important too. But that to me was the ultimate prime time for me. You know what I'm saying? Everything else, it's kind of like playing with the Dallas Cowboys. Then going to another football team. It was cool with the Dallas Cowboys and great with being with them, but yeah, it's not the same. When you go to other teams. You know what I'm saying? So.
And one thing I always noticed back in the day, and I don't know if it was because Selena could always turn to her left or was it her right, and you were always there. You always lined up on the same spot. And was there a certain tactic for that?
Well, yeah. The reasons for that is for me, it was the most comfortable spot for me to call shots from that angle. Wow. To call shots, because you're talking, for me, I had to call all the shots for the band. It's like sitting in a pocket, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you have to be telling all the musicians on stage, the conguero, the congas, the background vocalists, the keyboard players, the guitar players, Selena, I had to be able to call the shots to Suzette. I had to be visible. So from that angle, it was easy for me to turn without my bass getting in the way of Selena hitting the headstock.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? If I would have stood on the other side, if I had to turn, I would have to turn the opposite way to my left. It'd be too awkward for me to turn to face all guys. From the other side, the left side, I was able to call my shots better from the left. They could read my lips. Everybody could read my lips or sign. I used a lot of sign language. I remember that. I had signs for every song. So at the flip of a dime, if I'd switch things according. If it was an hour and a half show or a 45-minute show, I'd have to compact the song shorter. So when you have good, what we call good musicians that know how to play in the pocket, or out of the pocket, you know what I'm saying? It means that they'll switch on the fly. So I've always been blessed to play with great musicians, that are good listeners and are good with reading the signs and knowing exactly, because I'll call a change right in the middle of a song if I have to change it, or if we have to do a drop down in music to make an announcement that somebody's getting smashed to the front of the stage, or you have to be aware of all your surroundings. I'm like Selena, that I got used to that side, and I stayed on that side for the rest of my career. That's where I've always stayed, and I still stay on that side to this day, on the same side.
I guess it's costumbre now, huh? Now you don't have to call the signs, or do you still do that?
Yeah, no, I call signs. Yeah, I still call signs with the Cumbia King, with the Cumbia King All Stars. And there's so many songs. I mean, it's a lot of songs. It's a lot of signs, and just a lot of they already know me real good, and they know exactly where I'm going to call, and what I'm going to do, where I'm going to break down. And so, you get your players and you play long enough, everybody, knows each other. They got a good feel. You're connected. It's kind of a neat system that, Dad taught me over the years, how to be able to bring the crowd to a height. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to do, is work the crowd up. You know what I'm saying? Work them into a frenzy, make them excited. That's what they're there for, is they pay good money to see a great show. And, that's what you got to give them, whether it's 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000, 100,000, 50,000. You put the same show on, man, because that's what comes in the door, and they, and that's what you're paid for, man, is to put on a good show.
Exactly. And I remember shows at the Ghost Palladium when we had 17 people, maybe not even 17 people.
Yeah,
but you guys performed with the same intensity.
Yeah, for us, it was just, I guess it was like rehearsal for us, you know what I'm saying, getting ready for bigger things, you know what I'm saying, and it's crazy because one of the things I was noticing about Selena, and I don't know if you ever noticed about her, is that she could effortlessly move on any size stage. She could move from the left to the right without you even knowing it.
Yes, she could.
Yeah, she could. She was smooth. And my dad taught us that. He taught it. Everything I know and everything Selena knows and everything we accomplish is because Dad taught us that. He taught us, we would complain about monitors because we play with another group and they wouldn't give us, you know, it's understandable now because once your mix is set for them, if you mix the starting band, then you mess up your mix. You know what I'm saying? Then it messes up things for you. So you kind of have to work your way around it. When you're a starting band, you have to learn how to accommodate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And be fortunate that the big band is lending you their equipment. So we used to complain about the monitors. So my dad, one day, he took us and he made us set up the sound systems and disconnected the monitors. Now play. You know, wow. And so that's how we started playing. We learned to play without monitors, and then a lot of people don't know, at the Astrodome, you're talking 69,000 people. And you're talking when you hit the bass drum for sound check, it literally goes, it's that big, or snare. By the time that the reverb comes back from circling the whole dome, it takes, I don't know how many seconds, like a 2 second delay, 3 seconds. So when you're playing on the stage, it doesn't matter if you sound check and there's people there absorbing acoustics, you still don't know what's going on. We have to lock in. If you look at the Astrodome, you'll see that Chris is looking in at the drums, I'm looking in at the drums. We're all kind of zoning in on the drums and the congas, and we're locking in by just looking at where the bass drum is hitting. That's how I would lock in. So we would never be panicked. If we couldn't hear or know what the milliseconds were or seconds, we always knew we were on time because we already knew at least the hi-hats and the bass drum. We can mark with that the timing. And then once they see my fingers hitting on time and the congas falling into place, everybody starts falling into place. And so you get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is use it as a reference. Every once in a while, look back at the drums to make sure you're in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? So these are little tricks. You know what I'm saying? That maybe bands listening out there, don't cry if you can't hear.
Exactly. Another thing, AB, back in the day when you guys were barely on the rise, I had the honor of introducing you guys in Houston and Corpus and Laredo. Well, there was one time that sticks out of my mind, and that was the night that you guys were playing at the Roxy. But Grupo Mas was playing right across the street, right down the street by Rollies. Remember that? And you guys were worried about getting the crowd. That place was packed.
You were there?
I was there. I remember that night.
Yeah,
like it was yesterday.
Okay, remember that because that was the turning point for Selena. And being in the male-dominated market, that was the turning point. Mas, it was Rolly threw against us across town. He threw Mas, Fandango USA, a mariachi. They threw the famous Jimmy and Joe birthday, which the Jimmy and Joe birthday, ladies get free, champagne. They threw all kinds of things to try to knock us out of the club. That held probably, 1,500? Close, probably about 1,500 or so?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so, you guys packed it, man. It was super packed. I remember talking to El Locutor Número 2, Bird, and talking to him that night. We were all shocked.
Yeah, and for us it was a turning point because that right there, it happened with that, and then it started happening with all the other bands. We started throwing blows with all the top bands, and that's when I knew. I said, wow, we got the break we were looking for. You know what I'm saying? And Laredo was a turning point, and Laredo was also a turning point, a pivoting point, because two very important band members that would form part of the Dinos were found right there on that night too, which was Pete and Joe. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that too. I remember your dad introducing Pete and Joe, and him telling me they're real good kids, and he's got an awesome voice. And when I heard him, I was blown away by Pete.
Yeah, Pete was great, and so shortly after that, we took him on the road with us, and shortly after that, I said, Selena's been doing this for a long time. She could use a break. We'll get a guy singer to give her a couple of, to give her 2 or 3 song breaks. And people received Pete very well. He had a great presence, stage presence, that people didn't really feel offended as Selena stepped away for a little bit. They accepted him with open arms, and he knew how to work a crowd. Then I started writing the duets for him and Selena. The people dug those, and we just kept taking it and building it. Then the next thing you know, Pete and I are songwriting. And the next thing you know, we're writing Como La Flor and Baila Esta Cumbia and Amor Prohibido, and it just happened from there, man. It was just craziness. All the pieces just the puzzle just connected together, man. And, and the rest is history.
And I started out at the Ghost Lady when I was still a teenager, and that's when I met you guys. And then I went on to La Bamba. There's a certain incident that happened in La Bamba that was portrayed in the movie as being, and I'm talking about the time that the bus gets stuck. Did it really happen out on the road?
No, it happened behind La Bamba. It didn't happen on the side of the road. I drove the bus for many years, and understanding the bus, you would never put a vehicle that big in the grass. At an angle, if you look at it in the movie, and you look at the angle the bus is at, it's almost at an angle where it's going to flip over. You know what I'm saying? So you never endanger your passengers by going off of a hard road. Like any 18-wheeler driver and bus driver knows that. So that's incorrect. I mean, but I don't know why Warner Brothers do the correct story, but it's Hollywood, man. So but
exactly. But you see, I told somebody that, and they didn't believe me. Now they heard from me.
No, it's sad, and the bus got stuck behind La Bamba, and there was no cholos. You know what I'm saying? And me acting surprised that I seen cholos. That's kind of ironic because I came from Motown, bro. I was in the barrio. You know that I've grown up around cholos all my life. Why would I be surprised to see cholos when I saw them at Gomez Palladium every weekend?
Every weekend, remember that? They were our buddies.
Yeah, because it's like, gee, Dad, and they have go cheese, Dad, and there were these big cholos. Okay, calm down there, A.B. to, Jacob Vargas in the movie, calm down. I did not get excited like that. I had seen many cholos before. I myself wore Dickies with white socks with chanclas, you know what I'm saying, with white T-shirts, you know what I'm saying, so with a look. So I went to car shows, I performed for them. I know exactly, I had seen them before, so that's not true. But that's just Hollywood, bro. I'm just grateful. Not knocking the movie. I'm grateful that they made a movie about my family, about Selena, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
True. That is so true. And another thing I was going to ask you, out of all the memories that you've had with Cumbia Kings, with Cumbia Kings All-Stars, with Selena, what stands out in your mind, maybe, of all the years that you played? A certain memory that you want to share with us?
A certain memory that I want to share with you. I'd have to say one with Selena, one of our last performances at the Astrodome, and that's another thing that I'd like to clear up. The last performance that we ever made was not at the Astrodome. It was actually in Bryan, Texas.
Wow. And you see, a lot of people have told me or have asked me, and you see, they still want to bet me. They're saying, it was at the Astrodome. I played it at the Astrodome. Now, some of the people say that you played in Chicago.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah, lay it on me.
The funny thing about the question you just asked about my most memorable, or what we were talking about right now about the last concert was not at the Astrodome, but it was actually in Bryan, Texas. And the funny thing about Bryan, Texas is that I wrote Como la Flor in Bryan, Texas, and the last time that Selena ever sang Como la Flor was in Bryan, Texas.
Wow.
That's yeah.
Crazy. It's strange.
It's very strange. It's very crazy. And I barely discovered this maybe about a couple of years ago that I really thought about this. I said, wait a second. And I thought about it. I said, wow, that's crazy. And to me, that to me is one of the, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's to dispel any people that are that goes on the because they even challenged me on it. They say that the Astrodome, they challenged me that the Astrodome was the last performance. And I'm like, how can you challenge me when I was the one who played? You know,
exactly.
I should know the last place that I ever played. I went through everything. You know what I'm saying? I remember everything like yesterday. So I know the last place we played was in Bryan, Texas. As a matter of fact, a friend today from Bryan, Texas sent me a picture because his dad was there that night that we performed our last performance, and he took a picture of us on stage. It was a little bitty stage. Dad always had a concept that he liked booking in big places, and then he said it's important for people to be able to see you up close, to be connected with the street still, for you to be still accessible to people. And it's very true. I believe in that firmly. That people have to know that you're close by. You're not just a sea of faces. I'd rather play for a smaller crowd where I can see people than just play for a sea of people where it's just there's just a bunch of bodies, a bunch of people. It's not the same. It's craziness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking it. I'm grateful for it. But if you put me in a smaller, intimate place where I feel it's nice and tight and packed, where I can see you and I can shake your hand, I like that feeling better. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the distance between the stage and barriers. You know what I'm saying? Where they put barricades up, I feel that disconnects you from your crowd. You know what I'm saying? It puts you too far away. I don't like that. You know, I like the crowd.
I think it defeats the purpose of you being there. You're there to connect with the crowd, not to stay away from them.
Yeah, well, but it's understandable. And I mean, like with us, we play in La Paz, and we play a venue that holds only 45,000 people, and we're only there for one night. You know, and due to economic purposes, in the Bolivia area, it's not an economic wealthy country. So we play one night, and so when we play there, we put 45,000 people in, and there's 5,000 people outside that couldn't get in.
Wow.
Could you imagine 5,000 people outside? And they're screaming outside. You can hear when the song ends. I have to say hello to them, to the people outside. They're outside. They can't even see inside the amphitheater, but they can hear us. So I have to send a shout out to them. I'm sorry you guys didn't make it inside, you know. Next time you get your tickets.
I bet you that makes them feel better.
Yeah, of course. You have to acknowledge everybody, my brother.
Yeah.
You have to show love. You show love, you get love. You show no love, you get no love, man. That's just the way the world works, man. You know, you got to show love. That's what I'm doing this interview with you, you know, and let this be a learning lesson to any of the other bands that are listening, you know, to always stay humble and remember where you come from, man. Never forget that. Never forget that. Never forget your friends either. Steady Freddy and I have known each other, how many years now?
Bro, that would give away our age. We're both...
No, we can honestly say about three decades.
3 decades, my brother.
About 30 years. 30 years we've known each other. 30 years.
That's so true.
And that's a friendship, you know, that you can't... No amount of money can buy that, my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that, you know... You know about Rolly. You know about Laredo. You were there. That was a pivoting point for Selena's career, man. And I'm glad that you got to experience that. You know, that's cool. I didn't know that.
That's something that will always be there embedded in my mind forever until the day I die. And, you know, I tell my kids, they're 2, 4, and 6. Little ones don't understand, but the big ones, you actually use Selena, they're surprised. They're like, yeah, one time, I was, you know, that was who I was. You know, like Weekend, the Palladium, and Rollies, and different places, my brother. Yeah, I mean, the Roxy, I can go on and on, many clubs, you know, and you guys always treated me as family, and I want to thank you for that.
No, I mean, that's where my dad and I and Selena, you knew her, and you know, people are attracted. Of course, they see the movie, and some have grown up with her music, and they got to actually see her. But I think that people are attracted to her because of the fact that she was, you know, one of us, man, just a normal person. I say one of us because you see how I refer to that is because I refer to myself as regular Vasa, man, just like everybody else. We go through our ups and downs, our high points, our low points, and that's just the way life is, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta take the hits, and we gotta, you know, keep on going and keep moving forward, and that's all we can do, man. And be thankful for the blessings that we've been given. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some people might complain, you know, about their conditions or, you know, whatever it might be, but always think of something, man, that there's somebody somewhere else that has it worse off than us, man. Always. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very blessed, man.
Well, I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart. From everybody's hearts here at theHumble.com. Have an amazing weekend. I know you're going to be playing again in Arizona, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually Casa Grande. It's outside. It's Casa Grande. It's not very far outside of it's not very far out of Tucson, Arizona. So, you know, we'll be out in those areas. They're expecting a pretty good sized crowd out there, you know, and so everybody's excited about it, and I am too, you know. So we leave tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're headed out there, and so we'll be out there. So we'll be here in Texas. We got some dates here también. You know,
let me know, please. Let me know. I've been trying to go backstage forever, man.
Well, for Fiesta Tech, we'll be in Fiesta Week. We'll be performing at San Antonio.
And I'll make it out there. I'll be right there ringside.
All right, my brother. Well, you take care, okay?
You have a good one, AB Quintanilla. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steady Freddy. Have a good one. Y'all keep listening to my boy, Steady Freddy, man.
You found the home for your favorite Tejano 24/7.